Episode 57. As Yi Xiu passed the front desk, he saw Chen Guo sitting inside, fiddling with that mini whack-a-mole game, looking deep in thought. So he didn't go over to say hello, and instead headed to the smoking section to find a computer. Now, Ye Shu wasn't just famous in-game as Lord Grimm. He was becoming a local celebrity at the internet cafe. By now, almost every Glory player knew that Lord Grimm was the manager of this internet cafe, and that he wielded a custom silver weapon. The smoking section was especially packed with Glory players. Many of them had been playing since the server came back online in the afternoon and hadn't left yet. They all greeted Ye Xiu warmly as he approached. Ye Xiu gave a casual nod back to those who greeted him, lit a cigarette, and logged into the game. The moment he logged in, his inbox was instantly flooded. Just 5 seconds after logging in, the message notifications started blinking and blinking and blinking non-stop. Opening them up, they were all just the usual greetings. From Tianqi and the others, a brother expert is here. From Chen Yu, a worshipping the great god. From Blue River, representing Blue Brook Guild, an invitation for leveling. And from Ye Weiyang, representing tyrannical ambition, a reservation for their early morning dungeon run. Ye Shu replied to each one in turn, sending a simple smiley face emoji back to Tianqi, Chen Yu, and the others. He politely declined Blue River's leveling invitation and Yi Weiyang's dungeon reservation. Everyone who spoke to Ye Zhu chose their words with great care. After Ye Zhu had made his rounds, things quieted down for a moment. But soon, system messages started popping up again, with friend requests flooding in one after another.
Am I that famous already?
Ye Yu scratched his head. It was just a dungeon record. A major guild might notice a top-tier player, but they wouldn't worship him to the point of wanting to get up close and personal, right? Ye Shu stared blankly, ignoring all those system messages. Just then, someone nudged him from the side.
Hey, wanna add me as a friend?
Huh?
Ye Shu turned around and saw that quite a few customers in the internet cafe were looking his way, waving and calling out to him.
Hey, add me as a friend.
Amused. So they're all from the same internet cafe. Ye Yu broke out in a cold sweat. Since it was a new server, a significant portion of the players in the internet cafe were on the 10th server. Most of them were just quietly playing their own game, not really paying it much mind. But some folks are all about making connections, especially with the top players. Especially if you can meet up in real life, that bond becomes even stronger. Soon, even people in the internet cafe were coming over to add Ye Xiu.
Oh, what's the name?
Since we're in the same internet cafe, it's a bit awkward to just turn them down to their face. Ye Xiu asked for everyone's game IDs and added them as friends, one by one. In moments, Lord Grimm's friends list had swelled to 37 names, and every single one was online. Apart from Tianqi and the others he'd met a couple of days ago, they were all customers from the Happy Internet Cafe. And then there were those who'd trekked all the way from the other end of the internet cafe just to send a friend request. The long list of names was a complete mismatch for Ye Shu in the flesh. Amused riding the wave of excitement, someone joked.
Since we're all in the same net cafe, why don't we just form a guild together?
The suggestion didn't get much traction. Glory only had 10 servers total, plus the shared Heavenly domain. Running into players from the same server at the same internet cafe was nothing out of the ordinary in this game. The reason Ye Shu was getting friend requests from everyone in line wasn't just because his dungeon records marked him as a pro. The players in this very internet cafe knew something Blue River's crew didn't. Lord Grimm had a silver weapon, and that was far more eye-catching than any dungeon record. If Blue River and his crew knew Lord Grimm was holding back a trick like that, they'd be even more frantic to recruit him. The suggestion to join the guild was met with a few disdainful dry chuckles. The guy who made the suggestion was left hanging, so he just shut up and went back to his own game. Everyone put on their headsets and dove back into the game world. Ye Shu, however, took the initiative to send a friend request to someone else. Soft Mist, the name of Tang Ru's character. Ye Shu had no idea what the name meant. He figured she just took the haze from Chasing Haze, added the Ru from Tang Ru's name, and then threw in another character for good measure. His friend request went unanswered. Ye Shu figured the girl wasn't very familiar with the game, and probably hadn't even noticed the system message. Sending more wouldn't help. One request makes it flash. and 18 requests make it flash the same way. So Yushu decided to ignore it for now. He sorted through his gear and prepared to head out for some monster hunting and leveling. The biggest problem in the starter village right now is the sheer number of players. But even after leaving it, at around level 20, the biggest issue you'll face is still the crowd. The starter villages had temporary systems added to ease the load. But once you leave them, everyone converges on the same land. Though this land was many times larger than the starter villages, once the level 20 players from all the major villages poured out, the situation ended up being pretty much the same. Bull's Town and the surrounding areas were absolutely packed. Yeshu had taken advantage of the low player count late last night to rush through some quests. It's peak hours right now. Doing quests is just asking for trouble. You'll be stuck in line to accept them, stuck in line to turn them in, and fighting over mobs to kill. Just thinking about it is exhausting. Rather than doing quests, it's better to find a spot and focus on grinding for leveling. At this stage, what kind of leveling area would have fewer people? Naturally, it's the higher level leveling zones. Glory's experience loss on death made players extremely risk-averse. They'd rather queue for quests or fight over spawns, just for the sake of feeling secure. Only the truly skilled would dare to even consider leveling in the high-level zones. In Glory, the fastest way to level up is through dungeons. The next best is a well-planned quest route. Grinding mobs is the least efficient method, but given the current situation, with no dungeon runs left and quests all queued up, grinding mobs suddenly became the best option. Difficulty was not a factor in Yeshu's calculations. For someone of his top-tier caliber, NPCs posed no real challenge, unless they were severely overleveled. In Glory, the experience you get from killing monsters has a level range. The standard is still 5 levels. Monsters more than 5 levels above or below your character grant the minimum amount of experience. Within that standard range, the higher the monster's level, the greater the experience you'll gain. So the wild monsters that are 5 levels above the player give the most experience. 5 levels might not sound like much, but in Glory, even a 1-level advantage creates a level suppression effect. In Glory, levels aren't just for players. Physical damage, magic damage, bleeding, stun, binding, all these status effects have their own level considerations. Without a clear system prompt, these stats default to the player's level. In other words, Lord Grimm's damage level is currently 21, and the hidden bleed effect triggered by the double stab maneuver also has a bleed level of 21. Whether it's a damage level of 21 or a bleeding level of 21, hitting a monster level 22 or higher, the greater the level gap, the more severe the penalty becomes. This is known as level suppression in Glory. The advantage a higher level character holds over a lower level one isn't just about the stat gap from better attributes and gear. The hidden calculations of level suppression further increase the difficulty of challenging someone above your level.